like my colleagues on the panel, I come out of both the labor movement and spent some time working as an attorney with worker cooperatives. But the way, I'll just briefly answer your first question, the way I think about democracy, when I was a union organizer, of course, we were organizing around the terms and conditions of employment. But what people who were leaders in the union and leaders in workplaces where they were organizing their coworkers to form new unions, their most important focus was on dignity and respect at work. And I think shifting power in workplaces and shifting power in society are all about dignity and respect for all of us, not just for a few at the top, right? So just a couple anecdotes in terms of our history. I'm not a historian, as you said, but I love talking about the history of workplace democracy and economic democracy more broadly, because there is actually a really rich history in the United States that even many of us who work on progressive economic policy issues aren't aware of, right? And we should know this history to help us, feel more empowered to take action today. So as large corporations became dominant for the first time in the late 1800s and early 1900s, there was actually a tremendous movement for industrial democracy. And what we remember about this is that we got labor law and we got the focus on unions in the United States. But that movement at the time was actually calling for broader participation in the businesses that they were helping strengthen directly. Adolf Burley, for example, who is a leading lawyer and author who many people mistakenly think of as one of the founders of intellectual thought that supports shareholder primacy, actually wrote an article called How Labor Could Control over 100 years ago in 1922. And in his book that's most famous, The Modern Corporation, he called for the social control of business, supporting workers' participation as well as business participation. The militancy of labor at the time led to works councils in different businesses like Filene's and General Electric here in Massachusetts. Fast forward to the 1970s, and we've seen union leadership participating on boards of major auto companies, of pension funds. And today we see what we're going to, I think, talk about for the most part today. We've seen the continued growth of worker cooperatives, employee-owned organizations, and companies, and profit sharing alongside a growing and renewed labor movement. And I think that there's a really important moment that we have here to bring together all of these different ways that we can strengthen workplace democracy.